In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the unit circle, and really we're going to be going through the process of constructing the unit circle. All right. So a couple things you need to remember. First of all, we need to remember our special triangles and remember that special relationship that those have, and then remember our trig functions: sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay. Specifically sine and cosine to start. We can fill in a little bit more of this as we go. But when we look at our unit circle, the unit circle is essentially a circle that has a radius of 1, and what it's going to do is it's going to display exact values of some of our typical angles. All right, there's angles that we consider typical, and when we talk about typical angles, we're going to be essentially talking about all the angles of multiples of 30 as well as the multiples of 45. All right, so the first thing you want to do on your unit circle is fill in these particular angles. All right. And again, notice we're doing all the angles in terms of 30 degrees, so we can see those as we go here. Start at 0, and then 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and so on and so forth. All the 30-degree angles are being displayed here. All right, so we jump to all the multiples of 30, and that's why we end up here at 360 degrees, and I listed that one as well. Okay. But then going back to all the angles that are 45 degrees as well, if I go in increments of 45, it's this one, which was already labeled, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay? So really, we're doing the same thing with the 45s as we did with the 30s. These are the ones that are going to be considered our typical angles. All right? So these are the ones we want on display. All right. The next thing that I want you to do, and you're going to have to work through this on your own, but you want the radian measurements for each of these as well, because sometimes we'll be given these in degrees and sometimes we'll be given them in radians, and we want to come up with each of those. Okay. So you're going to find the radian measures by simply converting each of these. All right. So maybe the 30 degrees, we'll start with that one. You take that 30 degrees off to the side, and you can use your factor label. Some of these are pretty typical, so you might know the radian measure right away, but you use your factor label and convert that 30 degrees into radians, and what you're going to find with this one, this is going to be pi over 6. Okay, so then on my unit circle, I'm just going to label that and say, okay, or we can call this pi over 6. All right, and you want to do that with each of the angles as we go around this unit circle. Okay.